Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Conversations Around the Table. We're jumping back in on a really important topic called identity. This is part 2. Thank you for joining us.
I think where people get stuck too is when they think that, oh, well, there's a lot of other people that can do this. Like, why do I need to show up and do my part? And it's really sad because, like, when we think that way, we miss out on amazing opportunities.
Yes.
We miss out on amazing connections. We miss out on so many things that it's like an adventure with God.
Right.
And we're like, no, we'll just stay here because they do it and they do it really well.
Right.
Well, what if you actually like focused on yourself for a moment and thought, no, I'm actually pretty amazing at this, and I'm needed, and you come into agreement with what God says over you. I mean, there's power in that. There's power and authority that happens when you recognize your authority and you recognize what you carry is important, and it's valuable, and it's needed. And everybody has something. There's room for everyone at the table. There's room for everyone in their space of influence, and we all have different areas of influence with different people groups and different connections and all of that, and it's all needed. So it's like we need people to continue to step up and step in and just be. I always tell people, ubu. Ubu. I was like, you be you. Like, God wants you to be you. He loves it when you're who you are, and he's championing you. And I love how, in friendship, we can champion one another and cheer each other on. And like, that's really valuable.
Yes.
And even celebrate the differences.
Yeah.
We don't all have to conform to one type of personality.
Exactly.
It's like, I don't have to be a chameleon. I can be unique. I can be different. I can be me. That's so good. Like, you be you, and not try to. I think we do, when we're growing up, we do kind of try on different personalities and see like what fits, which I think, I get that. We're watching other people and we're seeing how people respond to different personalities. Like, it's like you learn, that one's the complainer, needy. They're not receiving what they're wanting from that. I'm going to avoid that, So I think there is kind of that learning from each other, but I love the idea. And I love that amongst the 4 of us, like, we're all very different, but we're of the same heart and mind, and we want the same things. We value the same things. And so, but that's the beauty. It's like a garden, like the beauty of all the different flowers bringing the beauty of the garden. So they're not all the same, And
the fragrance. Is so beautiful.
Yeah. I think about, like, I'm reading this book about David right now, and I'm just thinking about how, he killed a lion and a bear, and he also had the faith to kill Goliath, right? So when he took the head of Goliath to Saul, he didn't realize that he was going to be king.
Yeah.
And so faith is not, he didn't have identity yet of being king. He didn't get it. Like, we can have faith and we can walk through life and we can, like, believe for things and all the things, right? But unless we really walk in our identity, unless we really know who we are in the image of God and who he sees us as, we're never really going to walk out the full destiny over our lives. We just get pieces of it. Like, it's so important that we identify with who we are as individuals, not just what people say about us, or not what we, like you were saying, Joanne, not being someone for somebody else, but like, who does he say that we are, so that we can stand up. Like David was little. He was small, and he brought the head of Goliath. Like, he brought the enemy, right? And Saul's this beautiful, like, tall, billowing, robe, and he felt small. Even though he took out Goliath, he still was stuck in that space of not knowing that he would be king one day.
Well, and he was diminished, right? Because he was Jesse's son that nobody wanted to talk about.
Right.
What I love about David, I love all of that. I love David had a big God. Like, he just was like, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? He didn't care about his own size. He didn't care about the weaponry. And yeah, he had already killed a lion and a bear. I just think of David as, and again, our identity starts with our understanding of who God is. Always goes back to that. Like, we have a big, good, loving God, and he knew that. So he was able to become who he was destined to be because he believed in the God that he served and loved, right? That's, I love that.
Yeah.
And I think with identity too, like people, there is that element of like, well, does God really say this is who I am? I mean, and we see that with Gideon in the Bible, right? Like, he was in the wine press, and and the angel comes to him and like, you're going to do this. And he's like, who, me? Like, who am I that I would do this? And I mean, I've said that before, like, God, really? Like, you want me to do that? Like, how am I going to step in and into this new space? And like, it's scary sometimes, like whenever when God's asking you and he's inviting you into a new space, because you don't just get one identity,
Right.
like your identity, we grow from glory to glory, and so we're constantly growing and developing, just like we are in life, right? Like, we're constantly growing, and just like even physically, there's just things that grow, all of us.
Yes.
And so we're going from glory to glory, and like, even those invitations are glory to glory. And he's like, okay, come up higher. Keep coming up higher. Keep expanding. Keep taking new territory. Go, 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 go. And you're like, Lord, I don't know. Like, this feels really intimidating. Like, no, like, how am I going to do that? Like, I'm just me. Like, I'm a small town girl from DeSoto, Missouri. You know what I mean? Like, how can I? But he's like, no, like, I have called you. I have chosen you. You're my daughter. You're my beloved. Like, let's go. Like, we're going to do this together. And so it's like in those moments that we have the opportunity to arise and shine and really be that light that God wants us to be in whatever area he's called us to.
Right.
It's
true.
Yeah.
I love the Bible characters because of that. Like, the Lord used people that felt small. Ordinary people, fishermen.
Yeah. The least of
these. David was the least of these, and he became the greatest king Israel has ever had, right? And same with Gideon. Like, I call you call yourself whatever, but I call you mighty warrior.
Mighty warrior,
Yeah.
And sometimes he has to call us. We have to believe he's called us that before we feel it.
Right.
We have to act on it out of faith before we feel like that's who we are.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's so true.
Yeah. What were you saying?
I was just thinking about like how before often we become that the fullness of who we are, there's a great deal of loss too.
Right.
Yeah. And it's okay. Like, it's part of the process to be purged. Our character is built in those moments. Letting go of things are built in those moments. And, just circling back to David, like, he lost everything before he became king. Yeah. And he cried out to God over and over and over again. And yes, his faith was built and all of that. But within that process, his identity was formed.
Yes.
So
there is definitely, that refiner's fire, right?
Yes.
That you go through, because character matters, and how we carry what he's called us to steward and to hold with him matters. And so there does have to be kind of a refining of fire, because he has to, our motives, he wants people whose motives are pure, whose hearts are pure, who are able to withstand the pressure of what he's called them to carry.
Yeah.
And that isn't always known until it's upon you, but then you can look back and go, oh, now I know why this happened and this happened.
Yes.
And now this makes sense because I feel like I understand the weight of this that you're asking me to carry, and I also know this. Yeah. These processes led to this moment with you, and so he can entrust it to us, and that's part of, that crushing in a sense, huge. And that refining that we actually, I think we all go through, and Joseph went through it too, right?
Yes.
Just like the crushing, you know, and losing everything so that he could really carry and actually forgive and love, right? His brothers and his family who rejected, who abandoned him, who sent him into slavery. Yeah. I mean, like, you think about rejection. Oh my gosh. Like that's intense. But he went through that series of, you know, that season of just having to die to everything. And I know you've said this before, for things to truly like live, something has to die, right? And so there's these moments with him that we're in our identity as we're figuring it out along the way. And as we're moving more and more into that place of fully recognizing who he's created us to be, who he's called us like as his daughters and all of the things, but really like what are we to walk in that too, with our authority and with knowing like, it's okay. I belong in this room. Remember that for you. Like you belong in this room. You know, it's not about this or where you were or who you are or your degrees or this. Like he qualifies us.
He does.
Know?
Yeah, he
I totally remember that because when I thought about running for school board, I thought, you guys have heard me say this a million times, but like, do they let anybody run for school board? Because I'm just anyone. I am, but. And then campaigning was so hard. It was so outside of what I thought my gifts were and what I had ever done before. And I kept saying to the Lord, like, can't you just put me in the seat? If you want me in the seat, like, why do I have to raise money and do all these things? And he said, you won't be able to do what I want you to do if you don't go through this. And now I look back, I'm like, there's no way I would be able to carry what I have to carry.
Right.
Like when he does put you in positions, it's so much bigger than you were when he even said it over you. It's like Gideon. He really wasn't, you know, but he became that. And that's what the Lord does. It's that working out, it's in the fire, it's on the anvil, you know, like he works it out. And now I look back, I'm like, thank God I went through that campaign. I would not be able to do what I'm doing on the school board and be able to step into that if I had not had to forge in that time. So it's like a simple, like relevant right now for me, but that's what he's done in so many areas of our lives. Is like, I'm calling you this and I'm gonna walk you there, you know, and I'm gonna make you that person.
Because you can't bypass that piece.
No.
Like if you try and bypass it, he's always gonna deal with stuff. Whether you walk through the
and you
journey,
can't carry it.
or you know, it's gonna get dealt with no matter what. And there's stuff
there's muscles built.
There is
muscles and your resistance to things. And
I had to build some muscle. And I had we talked about this a lot. It's like I realized I have way more capacity than I thought. Like I have an ability to do a lot more things than I thought I could do and carry a lot more responsibility than I thought So it's building muscle. It's working the stuff out.
And there's stuff that I think we go through that we won't understand on this side of eternity. You know, it's just, you just have to accept it as he's good and he's always good. Right. He gives and takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Like that is the reality. You know, so.
And I think in the place of, you know, in the hard places of walking out, you know, the fire and going through that process, that's where we learn to hear his voice even more. You know, and I think that helps us to carry, you know, the things that he's called us to carry, you know, like when you said who am I, you know, who am I, like who am I to look at anybody run? We all feel like that, you know, like it's imposter syndrome a little bit in spaces, but good. But if you've been through the process and you've done the work in a sense of like laying it all down, like working through your heart posture, working through all of the things that come up for us in those refining fires, then we're hearing his voice at the same time, which he's speaking to us about what's to come and what he actually wants to give to us and what he wants us to carry and walk in. So that, you know, and again, it's always about others, so that others, one, you know, we want our lives to be used by him so we can be a blessing, you know, wherever he places us. But also it's showing people like, okay, she did it, I could do it, right? I can have the courage to step in and run for something, even though
Right.
that's not my wheelhouse,
Right.
or I never even thought it was, but I have a passion for this, so I'm gonna do this thing.
Yeah.
And the Lord's kind of nudging my heart, and people are talking to me about this, and people are saying things to me about this, so maybe I should, maybe I should do this. And it's all a part of that identifying and fire plus the voice of God, right? Speaking to us in those moments. Because even like David, like he was anointed as king before he was king. He knew there were things spoken over his life, but he wasn't knowing it until he knew.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then he could go back to that moment and go, oh, you already said this to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
So now I know I can
perceived it.
carry this.
Yeah. It's so true.
Yeah, and it's kind of about timing too. Huh?
Right? Oh, absolutely.
It's like
yes.
there's those elements of timing. I was
Yes.
thinking about, seasons and how, we have 4 seasons. There's winter and spring and summer and fall, and different things happen to us in different seasons of our lives. So summertime, things are bright and vibrant and happy and cheery and it's fun and pink and let's go to the beach and all the things. And then you've got winter where things, are kind of lying dormant.
Yeah.
I mean, have you guys ever felt like that? Like we've had seasons where it doesn't look like there's anything happening.
Right.
You're like, God, where are you?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
what's happening? Like, what's going on? But it's just quiet and it's dormant. And it doesn't mean that it's not there and that something isn't growing and developing in you, but it's just like for the season, it's dormant. And then springtime comes and the sun starts to get a little warmer and the ground gets a little warmer and then things are starting to spring up. And you're like, oh, there's new things. There's life. There's things happening.
Right.
So it's like you have all of these. And then fall, the leaves are falling off. They're shedding. There's pruning that happens. I know even in winter, there's a lot of pruning that happens in winter season. And so it's for the good.
Yeah.
It may not look very pretty when it's getting we're getting pruned, but the beauty that comes out of the pruning and the dormancy and just the times where it's really, really quiet is actually really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true. Yeah.
I think it all begins with, who do you say that I am?
Yeah.
Right? Like, who do you say that I am? Is sitting down. I remember, this isn't really about my personal identity, but I remember when I realized I was in love with Doug. And I remember calling my dad, and my dad said, before you go deeper in this relationship, ask the Lord who he is in your life.
Who Doug is? in your life?
Who is Doug in your life? And so I just, of course, being the obedient daughter that I was, I went, because I didn't want to make a mistake,
Yeah.
And he was also my best friend, one of my best friends. And so I remember sitting, and the Lord clearly spoke to me. He told me who he was. And the Lord is so eager to do that over each individual person, and their heart is just sitting and asking him, who am I to you? Like, mirror back, Lord, who I am to you. And he will.
He will.
And
He absolutely will.
I think that is so powerful. Like that, asking that question of the Lord, especially if you're struggling with your identity or you're in a quiet season where everything feels like dormant, like what is going on, is to ask and sit with him in that question and let him speak to your heart. Let him speak to you through his word. And I'm a champion always of, especially in those seasons, your friends, the people around you, like let them speak to you too, and remind you of what they see and who you are.
Yes.
Because it all works together. But that question is key.
It's so
And
key.
he will speak. He does speak. And we just have to be still and quiet and mindful and intentional enough to be in those moments when we're there. And that's a powerful question.
And it circles all the way back to the beginning, which is the story that you shared, Heather, about this little tiny painting on the wall that was really a masterpiece. And it was marked by the queen. Right? And so it's just so beautiful. Like, we should only get our stamp of approval from the Lord.
Right.
Not anyone around us, although we have affirming friends and affirming people in our life, but he is the ultimate to put his stamp of approval on us. So, it's a good
Yeah, and
subject,
if
you
you're
guys.
surrounded by people that are telling you a different identity than what the Lord is saying to you, change who you're around.
Yeah, that's good. Good point.
We don't want to be
No.
making agreements with the wrong identity, and that can happen too.
Yeah.
I mean, we can create it. We've talked about it. We can
Right.
create it in our own head, but if you're around people that don't know the Lord or they're jealous of you or they don't want you to shine or whatever.
All that crap.
Yeah, I love how you said that. And what a beautiful story, Heather, of just that was valuable because the Queen had put her stamp on it. So all of us have the stamp of God on who we are.
Yeah.
And every single human being has a stamp of God. Imago Dei.
Right.
I was made in the image of God.
Yeah.
And that's where my value is. And so asking him, who do you say that I am?
Because, I mean, how eager are we? I mean, I'm always telling my beloved kids, like, no, this is what you are. This is where you shine. Like, let me remind
This
you,
isn't
you
who
know,
you are.
you're beautiful, all these things. And so how eager is the Lord to say that to us?
Yes.
And I love that because fathers and mothers, they give identity and security,
Yes.
and like we get that from the Lord, like he, our Father in heaven, like he gives us that sense of approval and acceptance and love and just value because he is truth and he's giving us that sense of identity and value and security.
Yeah.
When we lean into him, it's like, okay. Yeah, it settles our heart.
It does.
Just
Take a
tells
deep
us
breath.
yeah, it's like it just settles our heart. I'm like, okay, no, I'm beloved. I am loved. I'm treasured. I'm valuable.
Yeah.
And I think I just want to circle back to that too, because I'm thinking there's times when we're in that space of we want to hear from him, but we're struggling to hear from him because we're maybe so in the pit or we're really like in the dark winter season, and it's like nothing is working.
Yes.
And that's where I feel like get yourself in community, get yourself around in atmospheres where he's moving and speaking. Get yourself to your friends and let them know what's going on for you and that you're struggling to hear
The right
voice
friends.
of God. Of course, the right friends,
voices.
not all people, but like your deep, treasured heart friends who know you and who are for you. And they will, I think sometimes that just is a part of what we need when we just cannot get to that place of hearing what he's speaking over us.
So true.
Because he uses each other in that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. Any final thoughts, Chippy?
I just love the Lord. That sounds so whatever, but
It doesn't sound corny.
it's just true. Like, I don't know how people live without him.
I know.
I don't know how people know anything without him. I mean, just or feel grounded or feel valuable or anything. And so, he is so good to give us his heart, tell us who we are, tell us our value in him, tell us how much he loves us.
Yeah.
He always does.
Yeah.
So I would say that if you can't hear what he's saying about you, go to people who hear him or are not in that season and ask them,
Yeah.
He's just so good. And we're all so good because he made us.
You
Love it.
any final thoughts?
I was just thinking, you were just talking about getting a community, Joanne, and like I feel like this is a measure of community right here on YouTube on this channel. And so I just want to encourage you guys to go on there and subscribe, comment. Like if you're struggling with something, like just put a little like a little message in there and say, hey guys, would you please pray for me? Like because at the end of the day, sometimes people are just sitting alone and they need somebody to reach out and just to be that person and be that prayer person for them. So we're just wanting to say, like, we read through the comments, we pray for the people that are watching, like, just please, like, say something and we'll be in prayer and agreement with you.
Yeah.
So good.
We're eager to know you.
Yeah.
Just like the Lord is. The Lord is eager to tell you who you are. And if you need someone to remind you, we're here for it.
So good.
Thank you for joining us today. We love this topic. We're going to talk about it again and again, probably, because it's so important.
Multifaceted.
It's so important. comment and like and subscribe and all the things, just like Heather referenced. And follow us on Instagram at aroundthetable_Inc. And we can't wait to see you next time.
Yeah.